The year is 2038, and the city of Detroit has improved from what it is now. The city has grown, it's transformed, it's become a place that you could see yourself living, but it's still slightly rough around the edges. But most importantly, in Detroit and the world, androids have become a thing. You can go to the store and pick out an android for yourself. It will do everything from the housekeeping to laundry to police work to detective work. And through the game Detroit Become Human, you will answer a lot of questions regarding how androids will interact with humans in the future and just what this means for us. Do androids have the rights of humans, and what happens if they start to evolve? Detroit Becoming Human is a beautiful masterpiece as far as the graphics and storyline go. It tells you the story through 3 characters, each character taking a very unique path through life and through the city of Detroit. Some of these characters will journey to rougher areas, while others will live in the lap of luxury. It's a very interesting take on everything that's done through amazing scenes and panoramics that really give you a feel for the city. Just in the intro, you're going to see this that I'm showing you right here and more. The city comes alive. You can see things that you've seen in Detroit and things that could definitely be improved upon and really make the world futuristic and better, I think. It's beautiful to watch, and if you like it for story alone, Detroit Becoming Human is definitely worth picking up. The story is simply fantastic. It pulls you in and doesn't let go. But what a lot of you guys are probably wondering about is the gameplay. So let's just flip over that and start discussing it. The first character that you're going to be playing as is a detective. This detective will go around, search rooms, find clues, and solve a variety of situations. Here you can see, while the movement system and the action system is a little bit clunky, you can still get the picture and it doesn't really affect too much. In the beginning of the game, you have the choice to save a fish or to let it die. I don't think that's going to affect anything going forward, but it gives you sort of a feeling for the choices that you're going to have to make in this game. And answering another detective's queries can result in a probability for success going up, and it can impact or hurt your future options. It's like any sort of storyline-driven game with a few cyberpunk or futuristic elements. You can play through stories by reenacting scenes using your Android technology, and then you can use those scenes to help you solve situations. And at the end of every mission, you get this flowchart showing every option picked and every option ignored. You're going to be able to see just what choices you made and have some idea of what choices you may have missed. It's a very interesting take on it and gives you an idea for just how expansive this storyline is. The next character you're going to be playing is an android who is owned by a richer character in the city of Detroit. Through this android, you're going to see the real sort of metropolitan area of Detroit. You're going to be able to see the more luxurious areas in Detroit, areas where citizens walk through alleys without fear, areas that are dense with traffic and have all the niceties of life in 2038. This android is going to show you just how rich and how powerful some people in the city of Detroit can be, and later on the storyline is going to become one of my favorites. In the beginning, it does introduce you to a lot of the city, and it sort of gives you an idea just for how some of the citizens of Detroit live without really making you feel like a part of that world. It really gives you a feeling of an android living in 2038 where you're expected to do things, but you're not expected to be given any thanks for doing them, if that makes sense. Here you can see the android's owner's home, which is massive, expansive. It's lined with zebra carpets and drafts, antique books, and see-through televisions. It's got some exquisite silverware, some amazing artistries, and it really just gives you a feel for how luxurious and how rich the city of Detroit has become. You can read through magazines and get an idea for what's going on in the world. You can see the North Pole and everything going on with that, and sort of hints that there's a lot of space exploration going on, but back home there are some issues. There might be a World War III brewing. This doesn't affect your story directly, but it is very interesting. It gives you a depth that a lot of games seem to miss. Here you can see my character walking through a painter's gallery. He's cleaning it up and doing everything that would be expected of him without any thanks or any sort of reward. This is a slightly boring part of the game, but going through this is just what really gives you a feel for the world. And on the other end of the scale, you've got your other android that you're going to be playing. She, however, is living in a more decrepit neighborhood. Houses are still burnt down, things have not been fixed up like they have in the richer areas or the metropolitan areas of Detroit, and life is bleak. But you still get an idea for just how advanced things are. You've still got robot vacuum cleaners, obviously androids take care of everything, and the owners here are somewhat okay with it. But there is some rumblings of issues due to unemployment, and it really introduces you to some of the friction that you're going to be encountering later in the game. I won't give away too much because that's one of the things that a lot of reviews do that I just hate. So everything you've seen here is just from those beginning clips, and it's really just to give you an idea of just how dense the story is in Detroit Becoming Human and how amazing this game is. If you're wondering, is this a game that you should be checking out? If you're interested in a story, an exquisite story that takes you through multiple characters, their lives, and gives you an array of options that you can just make this world your own, then this is the game for you. There's not so much of a focus on gameplay, and if you're not so quick on the buttons or used to FPS, RPG, any sort of that controls, this game is still going to fit perfectly with you. Now the PC controls, that's where I played it on, are a little bit clunky, and it does take a little bit to get used to, but it is well worth getting used to. And once you've gotten the hang of it, within an hour you're going to be playing this game like a pro, because there really isn't too much movement required. A lot of it is just choosing your dialogue options, looking through the story, and deciding where you want to take it. And that's what's so beautiful about this game. You don't need to be a gamer to play this game. You just need to be someone who enjoys a good story. You can see here I'm looking into the backdrop of the game. You can walk through CD bars, and the facial expressions and everything like that in this world really does give you an idea for just how interesting and how sort of conflicting this world is. It reminds you of the world of 2020, but a little bit more advanced with different issues, but a lot of the same underlying tensions. Here I'm walking through a CD bar, and you can see the characters are not too happy with androids. You can also see that there's some very interesting activity going on the behalf of androids, and whether or not this is okay or should be allowed is something that comes up from time to time. Now, the other thing that really amazed me about the game is the facial expressions. These characters feel so alive. Just looking at those up-close facial expressions, you can tell if they're fearing for their lives, they're hating you, or they're feeling something else, some sort of other emotion, whether they're sad, happy, whatever it might be. This game really does deliver on it through graphics and through storyline, and it's something you don't see nowadays. This game is a true masterpiece, and I definitely recommend you guys pick it up if you get the opportunity to. Right now, I think it's selling for something like $40 to $50 on Steam, and it's definitely worth picking up. If you see this game for anything under that, I'd recommend jumping on that deal ASAP. And yeah, if you're wondering, is this game a buy? It's definitely a buy for me, and I definitely say it deserves all the praise and ratings that it's gotten so far. So yeah, Detroit Becoming Human is probably the game for you. Hopefully you guys liked this review. If you did, please hit the like button. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought of it and whether you're going to be picking up the game. And if you guys really do want to support my channel and help me out, remember, you can hit the subscribe button. You'll get more reviews like this, more content like this. You'll be able to sort of interact with me here and there, and hopefully you'll be able to find some sort of detailed guides going over Detroit Becoming Human and just what you can do in the game and how to get things done. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. There's no spoilers in this video, which is something I want to assure you of. Nothing in here has ruined any part of the story. I've played through this game. I'm about 10 hours, maybe 12 hours in right now, and there's still a ton of story left to go. So yeah, hopefully that answers all your questions, but if you have any, feel free to leave them down below. Until next time, peace.